little stepping stone to.
So did you draw inspiration for your collection too from maybe the theme of mothers or anything like that, or what is your collection inspired
really
by?
I just went into a few things that I just train for the year, and because sometimes it's like doing a show, you need to give whoever comes at the end of the day, it's a fashion show also, so you need to have something that people can take something out of, and
definitely
that's so it's been.
But doctor, now we're speaking so much about reducing the incidence of maternal deaths, but what are the actual causes, and why should people be trained to handle these causes? What are the causes at the end of the day for maternal deaths in Sri Lanka?
Like in many other countries, hemorrhage related to childbirth is the #1 killer.
Okay.
But I'm very happy to say that this number is gradually coming down. The percentage is coming down. But still, that's the leading cause, and then that is very much a situation where we need to have drills, and the management has to come reflexively. But sadly, over the years, we've had unsafe abortion as the second or the third cause, figuring in the top 3 causes of deaths of mothers. That's a sad situation.
And this has been increasing in the past years, you're saying?
I wouldn't say it's increasing. We've not have been able to bring it down like we've done with the hemorrhage. The third is heart disease complicating pregnancy. There are certain heart diseases where women should not get pregnant, but sometimes people take it upon themselves to defy these advices.
Is this due to lack of awareness solely?
No, it's not a lack of awareness. I think having a baby is such a primal thing, and although the doctor might say don't have a baby, people want to get married, and they want to have a baby, so sometimes they would defy that advice, and we've seen that. But of course we are having another kind of earlier it was diseases of the heart valves that really kill people, but now that's being managed better, because now the surgeons are replacing these valves, so these people live longer and they have babies, and a lot of them they have good pregnancies, although there is a lot of interventions. But we have another kind of thing that is rearing its head, which is more difficult to diagnose, and that's why the heart disease is figuring in the top 3. And that's called peripartum cardiomyopathy, where the heart muscle begins to fail in late pregnancy, and it can go on until about the 5th, 6th month after the pregnancy. So very often these diagnoses are missed, and they think that's because the mother is feeling tired because of feeding the baby or whatever, and they keep ignoring it until it's very late. So these are the top 3 causes. Actually.
But they're curable if it's detected early, is it?
Absolutely. All these things are preventable, and
so we need to take the corrective measures early as possible.
Yes.
And again, if they have trained personnel around them, then it becomes even easier, especially hemorrhaging and things like that.
So consulting a professional doctor is a key for anything, and we would always set the record straight here that no matter how much we talk here, we need to make those actions active. Right, Amaya?
Definitely. So again, a great cause. Thank you so much, Professor, as well as Michael, for being on the show and for speaking to us about this cause. I'm sure that many of our viewers will be interested in taking part. So just to remind you once again, this is an event called Going for Zero, which is initiated by the Sri Lanka College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists, and this is to bring down the incidence of maternal deaths that occur here in Sri Lanka to 0. And that's a great cause. It's going to be happening at the Galadari Hotel in Colombo on the 24th of November. That's the day after tomorrow. And for tickets, you already know whom to contact, and I hope that you will make the time to go there for the event. So thank you once again for being on the show.
Thank you for giving us a chance. Thank you.
Definitely.
Thank you.
Definitely. So right after the break, we'll be speaking to another special event that's happening here in Sri Lanka for the very first time, actually. And this is regarding power boats. What do you know about power boats, Banu?
Well, we're about to find out that I know.
Alright, so do stay with us here on Good Morning Sri Lanka. We'll be back with another great segment. Good morning Sri Lanka. Welcome back to the show. Now, I promised you before the break that we'll be speaking about a very special event that's happening for the first time time here in Sri Lanka. And that's a sporting event for MTV Sports, so we're very happy to have live coverage of this event for you on MTV Sports as well. And this is the Dialogue F2 Powerboat Challenge 2013, which will be happening this Sunday, the 24th, on the Beira Lake. And it's going to be a great event, and we have to figure out why exactly this event is so important and pivotal here in Sri Lanka for it to happen right now. And to help us understand this, we have with us Richard D'Souza, who is one of the main promoters as well as organizers for this particular event in Sri Lanka. Welcome, sir. Good morning.
Good morning,
Welcome
Amaya.
to the show. And we also have with us Ray Burney, who is actually an F2 powerboat pilot. Good morning.
Good morning,
Welcome to the
Amaya.
show. Very excited to have you here.
Thank you.
And it's called a pilot, I've heard, and not a driver or racer or anything like that. But before we go into that, we have to find out what are powerboats. Ray, you're going to take that up?
Powerboats, there are two forms of powerboats. You have got offshore powerboats that obviously race in the sea, and you have circuit powerboats which race inland on lakes.
Okay.
We are the circuit variety. There are a few different classes of these. There are monohulls, there are hydroplanes, all different designs, and there are small cats, and there are F2 cats. F2 cats are the absolute top level in the sport. They are the fastest, and they are the most exciting to watch.
And when you say fastest, you're not kidding there, because these boats, I've heard, can reach amazing speeds. So just a little bit about that.
The sort of speeds we can reach are in the order of 200 kilometers an hour, depending of course on the length of the course. The actual record, the world record for an F2 catamaran was recently broken in England at Coniston, Lake Coniston, with the Speed Week. It is now stands at 132 miles an hour. I don't know what that is in kilometres. You'll have to
but that's a
convert
lot.
that. It's
Yes.
more than 200
More than
kilometres an
200.
hour. 200 kilometres an hour is 125 miles an hour. So you can add a little bit on.
And
these
that's really
boats
speedy.
Are going to be
That's
there
really
in
speedy,
Sri
yeah.
Lanka.
Exactly.
Racing on
And
the
you're
Beira
very
Lake.
excited about it because you're going to be there.
I'm going to be there
Live
at the
doing
Powerboat
presentation.
Challenge.
It's a very,
But
very
see-
good for you.
Now, Richard, this
Yes.
is the first time that something like this is happening in Sri Lanka. What
The
does this
inaugural
mean for
season.
Sri Lanka?
It means turning a page in the history of sport in Sri Lanka. To say it in a sentence,
Wow.
Sri Lanka does amazing things where sports are concerned.
Definitely.
This opportunity was first given by a man called Prasanna Ranavira, who had the vision and the courage to introduce this sport a couple of years ago to Sri Lanka.
Okay.
Unfortunately, meaning people, when something new is brought, they're a bit apprehensive about getting into it or backing it or supporting it. So fortunately this time around, Prasanna and I met,
Okay.
and I think we inspired each other to get on with it and do it this time. So that's the result of why we all seated here and trying to bring this amazing spectacular sport to Sri Lanka and take it forward to right up to F1 in the very foreseeable future.
So you mentioned the fact that this is actually, prior to the interview we were having a chat, that this is technically under motorsports itself.
It is, but the Lanka Powerboat Association
Okay.
has now just submitted its papers to the Ministry of Sports, and it's being recognized as a sport governed by the Ministry of Sports. So
okay.
the Lanka Powerboat Association is affiliated to the world governing body.
All right.
So we have credibility.
UIM.
Yeah, the
UIM.
UIM. We have credibility to do these events here.
All right. So tell us about the event. What can people expect?
My God, something that y'all have
Sri
only
Lanka hasn't experienced before.
yeah,
I'm sure.
y'all have only heard about it. Y'all have to come there and see it.
Okay. Okay. Wow. And do the spectators have a chance? Do our viewers have a chance of seeing it if they come there to the Beira Lake?
If they come there early, and we have a like 1.5 acre
Okay.
area where there is a couple of grandstands, marquees, the pits, entertainment areas like the good sound,
and we'll party all Saturday night as well, right? Because this has to be remembered. And these guys, these amazing pilots, will train 16 drivers.
18.
Yeah, 16 from the forces.
Okay.
And other than that, we are inviting a couple of civilians who have Formula racing experience, whom we think can handle these speeds, and whom I think would take well to it and get trained, and they will impart their knowledge to Sri Lankans and get the sport going here.
So 25 local pilots so far, if I'm right, and 4 British pilots so far. Tell us about the 4 British ones.
Well, he's qualified to speak more about the 4 British
Ray,
pilots.
one of them? All right, Ray.
Okay, the 4 British pilots, drivers, we are all from the same club in England, which is the Lowestoft and Alton Broad Motorboat Club. It's the oldest racing venue in the world. I mean racing venue. That is cars, boats, motorbikes, anything. Overall, the oldest venue. It is the only club in England that puts on a weekly race every week. Other clubs don't do it every week. We do it every week. And we have a variety of experience. Myself, John, who is another one who is here today. We have 2 more, Nigel and his son, and we're all very experienced. We've all started in the sport low, and we've gradually got higher, because as I said before, F2 with the speeds is the top level, level of circuit racing. So you don't get there overnight. You have to do the levels to get up to the top level. So you know,
on a scale of 1 to 10, how dangerous is this sport?
It has the potential. It has the potential to kill you. I'm not going to pull any punches here, and it has happened. It happened a little while ago. An Italian driver lost his life, unfortunately. But everything is done as it is done in any other professional motorsport to minimise those risks.
Definitely.
As far as you can. We have on the Lake Bira, we will have 2 safety boats. We'll have 3 divers, 2 from the Sri Lankan Navy, 1 from England. In the event we should capsize or turn the boat over, I would say, having raced these boats and other boats over the years, I would say it's 99% safe.
Okay. But the thrill you get from it is amazing.
The thrill you get from it is like no other thrill on earth, as far as I'm concerned. The adrenaline, and also it is not easy to do. You have to learn how to drive these boats. We are going to instruct some personnel from the Navy, the Army, the Police, Air Force. We're going to give them a little taste, but don't be under any illusion. They are not going to be able to drive these boats like we can drive them to the speeds. They're not going to be doing those sort of speeds on the lake. They will be behind what will be my boat, which is a pace boat. So you know, like a Formula 1 race, if there's an incident, they put a pace car to slow it all down. When we go out with the guys from the forces, your guys, they will be behind me. Three boats will be behind me, and we will go round and we will do half a dozen laps. And if they look to me like they're okay with the boats, I will gradually increase my speed.
I see.
So
over the
gap
laps.
reduces.
Gradually.
Okay.
That's what will happen.
It'll be a very controlled environment, but it'll be still.
You can see from what I've said to you, there are going to be 2 rescue boats, 3 divers on hand. We know what we're doing, but it's racing. It is high speed racing.
So there's always a risk involved.
There's always a risk involved, absolutely.
But it's something the spectators can look forward to, definitely.
Absolutely,
but I was speaking earlier when we started the show about why they call you pilots and not any other name.